Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. Y'all, it is literally barely 6 o'clock in the morning. It is so early. My son has this terrible habit of waking up at like 5:30 every single morning, but I feed him and I put him back down and he usually keeps sleeping. But I usually use this time, since I'm already awake and there's no chance I'm going back to sleep, to get ready. So I honestly didn't even plan on filming this. This is like incredibly impromptu. But I was at Ulta yesterday doing a return and I walked by I was walking like all around the store, honestly, with Cole in tow. So it was a whole thing. He went through a lot of crackers to keep him entertained. But I walked past this and the Super Dewy, just like big bold letters, kind of intrigued me. It's from Revolution and I tried to look it up on Ulta's app to like see reviews or something and I didn't see it anywhere. Like I saw they had a Super Dewy like skin serum, but I didn't see this on the app, so I was like, oh, this must be like brand new. I've never heard anybody talk about it. And it's kind of a fail because I just googled it and Target sells it and Ulta sells it. I don't know why I couldn't find it. And it's got a ton of reviews, so it's definitely not like brand new. And I didn't read the reviews. I just like saw how many stars it had and it was not very many. I don't know. I'm like still excited, but honestly kind of less excited because I thought it was like this brand new product. I wasn't even necessarily going to do a video on it, but honestly once I saw that it got like not very good reviews, I was like, well, I kind of want to film on it now to like give my first impression on it, because I don't know, I feel like it might kind of be awful. Like I didn't want to read the reviews because I didn't want to like come into this with like ideas about what people think of it. I just want to like genuinely try it out myself. So I figured we could try it out on camera. At 6 o'clock in the morning. I literally like just got out of bed. Like I got out of bed, fed Cole, came in here, and now we're doing this. I've been up for like 10 minutes. I haven't even brushed my teeth yet. That's where we're at. So this is, I don't think it's that new. Maybe it's new-ish, honestly, and I really don't know much about it. It's just called a Super Dewy Skin Tint Tinted Moisturizer. It says it's lightweight tinted moisture and gives the skin a radiant dewy finish, and it's enriched with wild berry extract. So I don't know. I do like that it's in like a squeezy tube with a pump. I always like this like style of packaging, like the Cosmetics CC cream, and it's 1.85 fluid ounces too. I was thinking this is like huge. Like it just seems a lot bigger than average, and I just realized this is almost double the amount of product that you get with like a standard foundation. So we're just gonna try this out. I got the shade medium. I really don't know what to expect. I feel like it's going to probably be pretty sheer, but I'm hoping that it is fairly dewy, and I'm really okay with like a sheer foundation. I have pretty decent skin going on right now. I have like one little, almost like completely gone, but still a little bit red, a little blemish right there, and then two over here. But for the most part my skin is, you know, there's not a ton to cover, so I don't mind more sheer product. And I do have pretty normal skin. It leans like a little bit dry, but for the most part it is normal, so I do really like something that's like dewier and potentially hydrating. I just really like a glowy, like luminous base and stuff. So that's what intrigued me about this. Like I said, I got the shade medium because I have been keeping up with my self tan for the most part, and honestly the medium like doesn't look that deep, and especially because it is sheer, I'm assuming, you know, you can kind of get away with, you know, kind of playing with the color a little bit. Typically, you know, the more sheer products, the color like doesn't stand out quite as much. So I have a little bit of moisturizer on, and I'm just going to throw on my Bliss Block Star SPF 30 sunscreen really quick underneath of this. It doesn't look like it has any SPF in it or anything, so I definitely want to make sure I add that. I do really like this sunscreen. Oh my gosh, all my hair. I went to bed with my hair wet last night, which I also like never do, and it's looking kind of crazy. So sorry for all the early morning things about this video. I'm sure my voice is still sounding very kind of like early morning groggy as well. But we're going to go ahead and do this. So it just like pumps out, and it is like pretty thick. I feel like a lot of times we expect these like types of products to be a little bit more like thin. So I guess we're gonna see. I'm gonna do a brush and a sponge like I always do, just to see. You know, I'm gonna do a sponge on this side. I will link the sponge and the brush that I'm using down below, like always, and of course I'll have this product linked down below as well for y'all. So like I said, since I didn't read the reviews, I don't know, you know, what people don't like about this, but it does seem like not everyone is crazy about it. I was thinking, even if it doesn't like work out super great on its own, I was thinking maybe this could work like under other foundations and stuff like that if it is dewy, and it could kind of work as like a glowy, maybe like a base. I feel like I'm not seeing it really, like at all. Like I feel like that just disappeared into my skin, but not in like Not in like a good way where it's like, oh wow, that just like sunk into my skin and blended in really well. I feel like it legitimately just disappeared. If anything, I do feel like it gave me a little bit of color, right? Like that's, my face is definitely a little bit darker, like the tiniest bit, but I don't feel like I'm seeing any coverage, or at least not very much. And like, I guess I'm just confused because this is supposed to be super dewy, like super dewy. That's the name of it, right? I would like venture to say this is almost like, it's not matte, but it is like the farthest thing from super dewy. Like there's really not much. I mean, there's like a little bit of like radiance right here, but like honestly the rest of my skin, sorry, I just had to change out the battery really quick, but I mean, that's like not dewy. I feel like that's like not even a little bit dewy. It certainly is not super dewy. Like I feel like I have other products that don't even claim to be dewy that are like more glowy than this. I mean, there's like a little, you know, it's reflecting a little bit, but I mean, I put like a cream product on my face, so just about any like cream product will have a little bit of reflectiveness, like at least right after you apply it. So, all right, let's try the other side. We'll do a brush, but I mean, so far, first impression, I don't know if I should be using my fingers. I know a lot of people do that. Maybe we should. I know it's like, I'm really not the type of person to use my hands for like foundation and stuff, but I know sometimes with like moisturizer, like thinner moisture coverage type products, people do like using their hands. Let's just do that. And then we'll do a second layer with a brush. Let's just like see. I truly have never blended in my foundation with my hands before. Literally ever. Y'all are seeing the first time in the world I've ever done this. But I feel like so many people like do it, and I always am like, that doesn't seem like it would work, but it must if people actually apply products that way. Alright, I mean, I guess that wasn't terrible, rubbing it with my hands, because it does kind of feel like more of just like a slightly thicker, heavier moisturizer. But why do I feel like this is not like dewy at all? I literally feel like this has less glow than products I have that like don't even make claims about being glowy. It's almost more matte than other products that I have. I think you can see right there, it definitely has like something radiant about it, but I literally think that's just because it's like a cream product. Like any cream product would do that. Like over here, I feel like I really don't have, it's not dewy. It's really not. Honestly, I've been testing out the Maybelline 4-in-1 Skin Perfector, and this is like very glowy, like very, very glowy. I actually really quite like this. I'm not sure about this one. In terms of the dewiness, I would say no. In terms of the coverage, it honestly, it didn't really add any coverage, but to be honest, I mean, maybe like the tiniest bit, like out of 100, maybe like 5 in terms of coverage. I feel like it really, more than anything, just like evened out my skin tone. Like I feel like now that we have both sides done, you can kind of tell like my skin just looks very like evened out, and honestly almost like a little bit blurred. Like I feel like I just kind of have a softened effect, if that makes sense. Let me get a little bit closer up since I don't have my glasses on. Yeah, to be honest, I think it looks, I like it, which I honestly was not thinking as I was like originally applying it. I guess my expectations were just different. Obviously, I was expecting something like very glowy and like super radiant, and it's clearly not that. And it really doesn't have like coverage. Like y'all can see, my blemishes they look the same. My skin just looks even, you know, like any kind of like slight discoloration, I feel like it's just evened out, and I sort of have like this nice sort of blank canvas. It truly looks like I don't have makeup on. Like this is truly a no makeup sort of product. I zoomed you in there a little bit. I do just kind of feel like my skin just looks kind of blurred a little bit. I mean, you can still see my pores and everything like that. Like it's not doing any kind of magic, but I do feel like everything just sort of looks kind of like nice and smoothed out. So I actually kind of like it, and I like this shade. It added like a little bit of color. I feel like my face and my neck match. I feel like my skin just looks like a very nice, like even kind of sun-kissed color. So I feel like this is a little bit of a fail in like the dewy department, and honestly like the foundation department, because I don't really feel like it is acting like a foundation. But I mean, it's not claiming to be a foundation, it's claiming to be a tinted moisturizer, and it definitely is that. I honestly think it looks pretty okay, and I really genuinely like a very light coverage type of product just for like an everyday basis. And that's exactly what this is. I feel like this is probably one of the most light coverage products I've tried recently, and I've tried a lot of foundations recently. This seems to be kind of similar to like the MAC Face and Body in terms of coverage, like very, very sheer, but I'm kind of digging it. I honestly kind of didn't have like very high hopes for this after I saw the like star rating. I'm gonna have to go back and read the reviews now and see like what specifically people are saying. I'm imagining they're saying that it's not dewy, because it's not, but I feel like it does have redeeming qualities. And I love that you get almost 2 fluid ounces. Like, this is a huge bottle, and it was only $12, so the price is right and you get a lot of product. So I guess we can't really like complain about that. I think I'm just gonna try one more pump. Like, I literally just pumped it out once, just on a brush here, and I kind of just want to see if we can get a little bit of extra coverage. And usually when I do try to build up products, I usually just do kind of like my cheek area, and then my chin, kind of around my mouth is where I have like the most kind of scarring and stuff like that, and any blemishes, which these two are like really tiny and starting to go away, but they're definitely still here. Okay, actually, I feel like that actually did do a little something. I feel like I'm just using honestly these blemishes as kind of like my benchmark to see how much coverage it's giving, and honestly they are less red. I mean, you can still see the redness for sure. It didn't like suddenly become full coverage, but they definitely are less red, and I actually kind of feel like you can almost see the makeup on my skin a little bit more. Like, it looks not heavy but heavier, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like you can sort of see the product like sitting on my skin more. Like I said before, it really looked truly like no makeup, like you really couldn't see it on my skin whatsoever. But I do feel like it added like a tiny bit of coverage. Still definitely a very sheer coverage, but I do feel like you can theoretically build it up a little bit. So I don't know, maybe this isn't a total fail. When I sat down here, I really didn't know what to expect. I was thinking this might like be a complete disaster and like be the worst product ever, because honestly I typically buy things that are like recommended or that I see really good reviews about. It's very rare that I just like see something, because honestly I don't shop around in store very much. It's very rare that I just like stumble upon something and I'm like, that sounds good, let me get that, like without reading reviews, checking things online, hearing, you know, somebody on YouTube talk about it or demo it or something. This really like doesn't happen very often. So I really like honestly went into this blindly, especially because I didn't actually read the reviews. I went into this completely blind, like not knowing what to expect, and what I did expect, a super dewy finish, definitely is not what I got, but I kind of still enjoy what this is doing, believe it or not. I feel like this is one of those kind of like foolproof kind of products. Like, if you get the wrong shade or you don't apply it like super evenly, or you build it up in certain areas more than others or something, like I feel like because this is so sheer, you kind of like can't mess it up. But I feel like if you want something to just add like a really light layer of just like kind of an evening out skin tone, add like a little bit of like a blurring, smoothing kind of effect, very much just like a no makeup, like everyday kind of product, I feel like you might actually really like this, especially because the packaging is really nice, the amount of product you get is really nice, the price is right, considering a lot of like drugstore foundations are getting to be very expensive, like $15+ at this point. So the fact that you get double the amount of like a standard foundation for the price, I feel like there are definitely people that would like it. I feel like the reviews probably, when I go read them, are gonna just say that it's like not very dewy. So I feel like if you go into it with that expectation, you're definitely going to be disappointed. But if you're looking for something just like quick, easy, lightweight, low maintenance, just like add a little something to your skin before you like run out the door, that's pretty much what I'm going to do today. I think I'm just going to throw on some concealer and like mascara and do my brows, and that's kind of like what I do on an everyday basis. I just want something quick and easy, but I really don't need anything crazy. I don't need a crazy amount of coverage. So this honestly does check quite a few boxes for me. It's just definitely not as luminous or radiant as I thought it would be, considering the name, but I feel like I could layer this product underneath. Honestly, I feel like these might be a really good pair, because this doesn't really give much coverage, but it does give a really glowy base. But depending on like what foundation you use, you could kind of cover up the glow if you wear something kind of fuller coverage, I have noticed. But since this is so sheer, these might be a really good pair, because I feel like this is sheer enough to still allow like the glow from this to show through. So honestly, that might work out, and then I definitely need like a pore filler of some kind underneath as well. I don't hate it. I honestly was thinking I was gonna sit down and like have a complete fail of a video, but it's not. It didn't go how I thought, but it didn't go badly. So I think I'm just gonna really quick go ahead and throw on a little bit more makeup just to kind of finish up my face, and then I'll check back in to close out the video and just show you guys kind of what it looks like with like the rest of my face done. All right, we are back. I'm done with the rest of my makeup. I really need to address my hair. After this, I just did a very simple, like a minimal look. I did powder my face because I always powder my face. It did kind of feel like it was mostly set down. It wasn't super dewy or like tacky feeling, but I definitely always set my face, so I just use the Pure 4-in-1 pressed mineral makeup just to like set it down. But if you're the kind of person that doesn't always set their makeup, I think you could probably get away with not setting this because it really wasn't like overly tacky or anything like that. But I feel like with the rest of my makeup done now, it's looking like really nice. All I did was concealer under my eyes. I didn't conceal like literally anywhere else. I typically would conceal kind of like the scarring around my mouth and my little blemishes. I didn't add any extra concealer anywhere. And then in terms of the rest of the products, I just used a cream blush and a powder bronzer, and then I literally just threw this little Fenty Beauty matchstick like on my eye and just kind of blended it out as like a one shadow, little wash of color, a single coat of mascara, and then I literally just brushed through my brows with a brow wax. So very minimal, you know, look, but also very like minimal products. Like I literally only used 4 or 5 other products on my face, and I didn't add any highlighter. I really try not to add highlighter when I'm like testing out a new complexion product because I really want to see like, is it glowy or is my highlighter doing all of like the radiance? And so you can see, I mean, granted, I did use a cream blush. I've been really loving the e.l.f. putty blushes. I got a new shade yesterday. This is the one in Bora Bora. It's a really pretty, like super baby pink, like the packaging. And since it is a cream blush and I didn't set it, it's a little bit dewy. And I honestly feel like all of the glow we're seeing right there is from the blush, because like you can even look at my forehead, like it has like a little bit of like a slight reflective sheen to it, but I just feel like this is so not dewy. But I do still like it. My husband actually came in and showered while I was finishing up the rest of my face, and I was just telling him about this because I don't usually film this early, and he's like, you just woke up and wanted to film? And I was like, well, honestly, I wasn't planning on it, but I kind of thought this was gonna be a fail, so I really like was eager to try it out and see if it would be or not. And I was telling him I actually really like it still. Like, I'm very surprised to say that because it's definitely like falling short of what I expected, but it's doing something different than I expected, and I think I like what it's actually doing. And I actually have tried some other like tinted moisturizers lately that I actually ended up returning. I just didn't feel like they looked good on my skin. I didn't feel like they gave enough coverage to like warrant even wearing them. And even though this doesn't give a lot of coverage, I still feel like it's worth having and worth using because it gives enough coverage to kind of even things out, and it just makes your skin look really nice. Like, I just love the smooth effect that my skin has. It's not like creasing in my smile lines, not looking weird or cakey or anything. Like, it looks really nice. So I feel like just for the price and the amount of product you get and the accessibility of having it at Ulta, it's pretty nice. I think there were only like 5 or 6 shades, I want to say, though, which obviously is not ideal, but I think we've kind of come to expect with like tinted moisturizers and things like this nature. They typically only have like a fair light, medium, tan, deep, like something along those lines. There's typically not much of a shade range in these types of products. I just realized I forgot to put my freckles on. Y'all, I'm obsessed with this freckle pen. This is literally like my new favorite makeup trick ever. I know this is like not for everybody, and maybe some people think freckle pens are weird and adding fake freckles maybe is weird to some people. I get it. I used to think the same thing, so that's totally fine. But then I tried it and I'm obsessed with it. It's easy as that. Literally takes 2 seconds. To me, it looks fairly like natural for the most part, and I always like my makeup more when I throw freckles on. So I can link this down below. This is like $3 off Amazon. I really like it. So I think that's going to be everything for this video. Like I said, this was extremely like impromptu, spontaneous. Like, I really didn't plan on filming this at all, but I hope this was helpful if you guys have been thinking about getting this. I know this is like not a new product. I thought it was a new product. I know it's not. So I hope this was like still helpful if you've been considering getting this product, or if you're just like looking for something, like I was saying, just like very easy and low maintenance and lightweight. I think this is something most people would like. I think if you have dry skin, you will like it because it feels moisturizing, but if you have oilier skin, I think you will still like it because it's really not super dewy. I feel like people with oily skin would like run away from this, but you don't need to. So I hope that this was helpful. I will have all of these products linked down below for y'all to check out. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, we would love to have you. We have so much fun here. And until next time, I will see y'all in our next video. Bye guys.